is playing stops the music when that goes false, which is good since that's the goal of stopping. But the pattern stuff is a little funny still. And let's see. So we put the changing here. So this one reassigns the beat plus 1% numerator. And well, what's happening is we clear that thing to -1, which is basically out of range for everything, and maybe it should be a nil instead. But when that last beat comes through, it adds 1 to that and sets it to 0, which highlights that column. So my hope was setting it to -1 would not match any columns and clear it. Now I think the real issue is that is playing is false, but it still plays that beat. So let me try this first. If is playing, we're only going to do the sounds and updates when it's playing. Okay, so I think that is probably appropriate. I think that'll stop that last beat we got if it's scheduled. It's already been scheduled, but we hit stop before it had a chance to do its thing, and it was gonna trigger the playing. You know, that's its job. So I think this will work. If not, I think we can maybe schedule that beat equals -1 or something like that. Also, I don't know if -1 works so well. I mean, this is probably better that we're protecting it because it's not valid to increment a -1. So in this, it's really serving as nil. I don't know why I'm not using nil. All right, so let's get this going. I guess I got to press the button at the right time. Okay, yeah, so the sound stopped. It probably had that rescheduled beat, but that got blocked by our flag, and the beat got left at -1. Okay, and we pick up, it should start back at the first beat again. Okay. All right, well, that seemed very simple for how much time I mean, we ran into it at the end, I guess. 5 more minutes would have solved it. Okay, so let's check that in and then look at refactoring it a little bit. So we made the pattern column highlight as it plays. Okay. I guess we're going to refactor that a little, so I'll leave it up there for a moment. I think my counting is off. Yeah, that was 16. Wow, end of the month. Ugh. Okay. So let's look at this again. And I am going to call this player view. I think it's evolved enough. And it does do the playing now, so that's okay. All right, let's run tests. One of my tasks is to go get a better low wave, that kick beat. I haven't done that yet. All right, the test should be coming shortly. And let's see what else we got on the agenda. Save info and app storage, yes, that'd be good. Separate start buttons. Oh, yeah. Okay. So the beat pattern, let's see that. Is that? Oh, that's player view. Is metronome view affected by that? Well, it needs to know it because it's passing that down to the sound grid view, which is the display of the pattern display. Right. So when we that's managing the setting of it, but somewhere in here we go. Yeah, if the beat comes in, we change the opacity, and I kind of do want to play with this a little bit. I think we tried 75, but I'll just see how I feel about it now. Anyway, the beat index. Well, I guess I just wonder if beat should be an int question mark. Beat index is this. I mean, he's an int, so I don't know if I can use it as a question mark. Let's try that first. Somebody should complain. Actually, we haven't pushed yet. Let me take that back out. I'm typing as much forwards as backwards. Okay. All right. Okay, so if I make this optional, does it build? You would think somebody would complain. Like the person calling tap. Really interesting. Okay, let's run it this way. I don't think it hurts anything because it's only ever -1, and if we used it now with beats of index, beats of -1 would blow up. So there's no problem in the current setup. I think this is actually the better. Whoops. A better pattern. Might go better the other way. Okay, so nothing runtime was affected, which makes sense because the tapping is while you're setting the thing up, basically. Okay. But the good thing about that is beat index will never equal beat. Well, no, I don't know. Yeah, let's try setting it in metronome view. Beat equals nil. Okay, and then it's our responsibility to make sure beat is legit. Now, why are you not? Because he's lying about the type. Okay. Yeah, now we have to worry about it. This is binding of int, question mark. And then the usage down here, right. So one way would be to just check here and make sure beat's not nil. Because if it is nil, we shouldn't do this stuff. Okay. And I probably don't need to do both these conditions. But if it's playing and the beat is nil, we don't want to be trying to do this. Yeah. All right, so we've guarded this block with beat not equal nil, so the two references are okay, and beat of int. I don't know if I probably don't really need to initialize that like that, but I think that's better to be explicit in this case. And we'll play with this a little. We shouldn't see any difference. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's that. I guess our player I guess our player needs to be responsible and set the initial beat to 0. Because no one's doing that. Okay. Yeah. Maybe a guard would be a better way to do this. Oh, now we start. Okay, this is interesting. We had set this to +1 before because it started out -1, and we wanted to make sure it did its thing. But now we can change it after. Well, maybe he does start at +1. It's all tied in because updating the beat is going to force this to update the grid. Well, that's in Metronome view. It will force the grid to update as well. We want him on the same beat. So I think, odd as it seems, the -1 was actually correct. And this one should be nil. Okay, let's try that again. Which it does indicate there's some coupling going on there about the interpretation of that first beat. But I think the sort of constraint that needs to be there is when you're done, when you've played the sound, you've highlighted it, both those have to happen on the same beat. We've had it be off already. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, let's clean up this. So I guess this is if let beat equal beat and is playing. Is it best to write it like this? I don't know if I can turn them around. Oh, I can't assign to the value. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Can I say var? Huh, I've never done that. I've always done if let. Okay. I don't know if that's going to work. I think I'm setting a new variable. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think the guard's not going to work because it creates a new variable, and I'm trying to assign into it. Well, I need to assign into the global one. Now I can, let me try another way to do that. How about if I say if is playing and let initial beat equal beat. And then, oh no, I still have to use beat down here. No? I think this is just one of those things. Right, so in a way, this is where we pay the price for making it nullable. And it's allowed to be nil, so it's not even one I can like do a bang on the variable declaration. Right, so I've got to update the binding. There's no way around that. And if I'm going to reference it, I got to reference the beat consistently before and after. So yeah, I think given that I need both those, yeah, I don't see a way around that. Well, so I'm paying 2 exclamation points for my use of nil. But I think that's okay. All right, let's run this. It's a little loud for me. Okay. Right, and that should not sound different because it's a half note or a quarter note. We said whatever it was, we're ticking this many beats, and that's more of an interpretation to you as the performer. All right, I think this 75% is fine. We definitely get the feeling of traveling across the screen. I still don't like the kick drum. I think this little space at top is a little excessive, but we're definitely tweaking things now. Okay, so refactor to make beat be int question mark nil when not in use. Okay. Oops. All right. Okay, so we don't have persistence yet, even in the small scale we have. And I guess I want to reevaluate this. Is that feel good? The only problem I have with buttons like that is they, it's like do you really know which state you're in? But I guess I'm paused. I'm playing with the solid. I'm gonna drop that one. Okay, and then metronome. Well, look for a better sound. That's on me. The visual I think is okay. The other one is allow random dropped ticks, and that's a feature so that you don't rely on your metronome. You rely on your own sense of rhythm, and then the metronome's there occasionally to come in and make sure you're still doing it. So like if you left off half the ticks, or maybe you only played 80% of them instead of 100% or something like that, once in a while a tick would go away, and presumably you would keep strumming or whatever at the same rate. And when it comes in the next time, it's you're still you're still on rhythm. Okay. App storage. That's a good thing. So I'm going to move these down. Yeah, do it like this. Okay. The spike we don't need. We're doing quite well playing. The list of sounds, I'll go back through and see if one of those kick drums or low sounds. I'd really be happy with a low block, but we'll see what I can find. All right. So metronome, app storage. Right. So I think these, these really should be app state. Yeah, what's the magic word? It's not environment, is it? It's I've lost my cheat sheet. Let's see if it'll suggest it. Is it app storage? Yeah. User defaults. Okay. So let's. Where is it? Okay. I'm trying to clean up this craziness. We're sort of 2/3 through the project of reworking the walls in an extra kind of mudroom slash, I don't know what you'd call it, but all that stuff moved in here, and that's made this place far worse than it would usually be. Yeah. Oh, that's a thought. Yeah. All right. Oh, goodness. All right, let me go online. It is app started. Oh, I gotta have the key name. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, this one is the value we're setting. Now this one, the beat we don't have to worry about because that's only relevant when you're running. It's not a permanent thing. Okay, we'll save this one for a moment. Sound and target. I mean, that's sound color, and that's coming in. Okay, so that's all derived from being passed in. And then player view. He has, well, the sounds, that's fine. We need to load those at runtime. The stuff up top is passed in, but sound trigger, that's a runtime. That's a runtime. So I think we're good with that. All right. What else is on that metronome? BPM's a helper. BPM view. I don't remember what that one is. Oh, that's the stepper and all that stuff. But I don't think he has his own. Yeah, those are just constant. Okay. Right. So let's go back to the grid. Now this, I don't know if this is. I don't know if he'll do that or not. This is, yeah. He's not codable. Requires sound and bool be equivalent. Requirement specified as value equals bool. Requires that sound and int be equivalent. So I've got lots of options, but none of them are with a custom enum. And I don't know if I can store that or not. Yeah, make it codable. Only the string conformance is needed. Yeah, but I thought it would encode arrays. Am I misremembering? I mean, I could treat them as ints, but so yeah, data. If I made it codable, was that enough to do it? a pretty simple addition. I mean, it has no trouble generating a codable method. Yeah, that might work. All right. Yeah, we did something else where we encoded it, didn't we? And thought we encoded the... Oh, maybe it was a set. All right, so it should come in. That's the default. Let's change this. Okay, and then if I quit the app, and restart it here, it's still that. Nice. Oh, what happened? I don't think I bumped something. It's there. Let's quit it again. And restart. Okay, the pattern's there. Okay, and I didn't change these. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, and we'll quit. And restart. So it was 6.8 at 240. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so apparently arrays are okay, which was what I remembered. But we did work around that for something, didn't we? I think it was this project. Text containing app storage. Was it calendar stuff? No. Favorites. Well, that one's okay. Yeah, that seems okay, but you're right that you don't have to go very far into the bag of types and end up having to do some work. I don't know if we did any that were codable, but yeah, array of strings, okay. Okay, well, that was pretty easy. Save metronome settings in app storage. Yeah, maybe we did. I can't remember. I remember struggling, but I don't remember how it came out. Okay. Save metronome settings. Okay. Well, if we hadn't had to spend so much time on Tuesday fighting things, this is where we would be yesterday. All right, but it is what it is. I mean, I like these to be the real thing of the struggles I go through because they do happen. All right. So the next tool then is this chord chart. Here this is the Mountain Dulcimer chord chart. Okay, and let me go back to this. So we have several pieces. One is that upper board. That's the fretboard, basically, of the mountain dulcimer. Um, I'm only dealing with 3-string dulcimers. We could add fourth strings. There are 4 or 5 and 6-string dulcimers out there as well. Um, it's also fairly common to have 2 strings that are single strings and 1 string that's a double string. 2 strings playing the same note, kind of like a 12-string guitar or a mandolin has on every string, but only have it on the melody string in a dulcimer. That was kind of a failed experiment to try and make the volume louder because they're not very loud instruments. Um, and yet people kind of assumed it was traditional, but it really wasn't. But yeah, go back 50 years, 75 years, and they were all single stringed mostly. Although my friend's a real collector as well as a song collector, and it's like whatever you want to say, somebody probably did it 100 years ago. It just didn't become a common thing. So the big one for dulcimers is we have that 6.5 fret that's really an optional fret, and it kind of got added in the 70s. But my friend has a dulcimer from 18 somethings that have only the 6.5 fret and no 6th fret, which plays a major scale. Normally the dulcimer's kind of a modal scale. So anyway, so one piece is drawing that. The second is, how am I going to specify the chords? And there's something to be said for the circle of fifths, and there's something to be said for playing a particular chord in a key. So if you're in a key and you want to know, like, what are my main chords? Like, let's say we play an A. Well, your main chord is going to be A. Your 5 chord, your 5th chord is going to be E. So A, B, C, D, E. And your 4th chord goes down 5 is D. Okay, so having this circle on the right to tell you that is useful, and especially in D like this, because there's so many gaps in a dulcimer. If you want to play an F chord and you don't have a 1.5 fret, which is a fairly new invention, you don't have an F on your system. Basically in your whole set of strings, you don't have an F unless you bend a string or something like that. But you don't have an F and you don't have a C down there. You have one up at fret 6, but you don't have one down at 1.5 there. So some chords are totally out of range. There's no E flat. Actually, E flat, B flat also are not on there unless you have frets that add them in. Now there are chromatic dulcimers that they have frets. So between 0 and 1, you'd have a 1/2 fret, a 1.5. 2 to 3, there's no 2.5, because it's kind of like when you play on a piano, between E and F is only a half step, but they're both white keys next to each other. That's kind of what 2 and 3 is like. You could have 3.5, 4.5, 5.5. Very many people have 6.5, and so on. So we may have to support multiple modes with this, multiple dulcimer layouts, fret layouts. The other one, let me go look for, I probably could have done this last night or something, but chord organ. Okay, so these are, usually they're like cheap little organs. Some of them are nicer. I mean, you can see these are pretty good sized. I don't know if we can see thoroughly enough on there. Probably not. Yeah, I can't. I can tell they got buttons with. Come on. Cancel. I'm guessing these are major key buttons or something. I don't know if these are minor keys or how that works. And a pickup and an amp. Yeah, I mean, I have some. Well, I have one dulcimer that has a pickup and one that doesn't. And then I have my daughter gave me one. I'm not sure if that one has one or not. But I also have a little kind of portable instrument that does not have a built-in pickup. I have played with a regular pickup before, like a clip-on kind of thing or something, and it worked okay. Um, it's a little bit different style when you play with an amp. You find out if you bump a string on your way off a chord or something, the sound just stops. So you have to really learn to be careful with it. Okay, but let's go find a better picture. I'm used to as a kid, this kind of thing. Um, I don't think we had that exact model, but that sort of organ was pretty common for a kid's keyboard of some sort. Now you can see these. There's only 6 buttons on there, so there's not a lot of chords in that on that one. I don't know. These are again. Yeah, I can't make out letters. Um, okay, something. Oh, I don't know if it's E flat, B flat, F, C, G, D, A, E. So it's kind of part of our circle of fifths there, isn't it? um, and then E flat minor, B flat minor, F, C, G, D. I don't know if these are all minor, F minor, C minor, etc. So you get the basic chords with that. So they took a piece of the circle of fifths and they said, you're just not going to be playing in F sharp minor on this thing. You don't have in your room, it's only almost 2 octaves. Yeah, accordions have that sort of thing going. Maybe we should see what they do. My son-in-law wants to play accordion, but he doesn't have one. I don't know what makes that interesting to him, but I approve, of course. Well, this one can't quite make them out. Okay, let's see. I mean, accordion chord layout. Now, here we go. Somebody's... Okay, so C, they have the same chord 2 times. And I'm trying to get the pattern of this. There's A, B, C, D, D sharp, F. Okay. A, B, C, C sharp down here, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp. It's totally random. I mean, not random, but here's C, D, E, F, G, A. That's pretty simple. And then F sharp, G sharp, A sharp. Let's see. I think your keyboard's on your left and your chord's on your right. I don't know if he's playing. Well, like everything, when you get into it, it turns out it's pretty complicated. Here's a soprano diatonic layout. Okay, so it looks like you can push the high end or the low end of a button and get different sounds. Now, my mom played accordion when she was like in high school, but she never had it anytime I can remember, and I don't know what it meant then. It wasn't, I mean, when I was growing up, the only accordion I ever heard was Weird Al, and maybe some Wisconsin Oompa bands. Right. Yeah, I don't quite. Oh, there's F, A, C, F, A, C, F. So that's kind of the F row. F sharp, E, G, C, C, E, G, C, E, G, C, E, G with a couple extras thrown in. Pull and push. Okay, interesting. And then a bass one. I don't think we can see that visibly. But yeah, I mean, look at this. I had no idea there were, 6-row accordions like this. 120 bass. C, F. Okay, here, this one is kind of circle of fifths. C, G, D, A, E, B, F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, D sharp, A sharp, keeps going. C, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B, E, A. It wraps around. So D sharp is the same as E flat, so it's there. Minor chords, F, C, G. Yeah, this one makes sense to me. Your major chords, root bass chords, they've all got C in the middle. The bass one is a little different. Counter bass, I don't know what that quite means. Maybe root bass, counter bass. Oh, so if you want to go boom, 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 you got C and E. So a small one. It's not normally they do a fifth, but C, E is in the chord, so it would be a reasonable thing to do. And then a whole row of majors, whole row of minors, whole row of sevenths, whole row of diminished. Woof. I don't think this would be any better than the circle of fifths. But wow, isn't that a lot of keys? Or a lot of buttons? What is that? 6 by 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So 120 keys. Oh my goodness, or buttons. Now I'm sure there are beginner ones that, there are 3 rows or something like that. And maybe you're an accordionist and you have your wish list of 120 and 240 key accordions or whatever. I don't know. All right, but anyway, I'm glad I looked, but I don't think that convinces me to change my approach any. Yeah, that's all circle of fifths, so that's good. Well, maybe a linear circle of fifths thing would be maybe that is the right way to go. I mean, the fact is, most people playing dulcimer don't play in any flat keys. Oh, really? Buttons on both sides. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm used when I've seen them. It's been an accordion, a keyboard on one side and buttons on the other. I don't know. My left hand is losing capability at this point. Usually I think of playing interesting stuff with your right hand being easier on a piano, just mentally, but maybe that's being right-handed. So, I don't know. You must. Yeah, I don't know. G, C, F, B, E, A. Okay, where's D? C, G, D, A, E, B. Yeah, that's. So this is kind of going down, that's kind of going up. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I gotta ask. Oh, there was Weird Al or somebody. Oh, not Weird Al, but okay. So her right hand's on the keyboard and her left hand's on the buttons. Looks like same deal for him and him. I don't know if you're left-handed if you flip it over or whatever. Okay, well, fun diversion, but let's go back. So I think whatever my chord chart is going to have this piece. So my plan is to work on drawing this first and then work on drawing the circles. I guess if I look at the size of this, that size-wise seems like it would fit fine. A little bigger circle even. I don't know if I can fit 2 circles vertically and that. This one that I drew is also short. Most people have 14, which is 2 full octaves. And I think it's pretty common to have 14 plus a couple more notes, or maybe up to 17 or something. I have seen ones that are only up till 7 or only up till 10. And usually, if you're talking what are the chords? Well, let's say a D chord. The first one is 0, fret 0 for the bass string, fret 0 for the middle string, and fret 2 for the melody string. And then the whole pattern just repeats again up here. It's just you pretend the 7 is a 0 and it's 7, 7, 9. It's really X, X, X plus 2 is thinking about it. Okay, so let's get going on some drawing stuff. I think, well, one thing is this linear multi-stringed version with labels in the right places and optional frets shown in dotted lines is good. And then the second is, some sort of circle with a series of buttons or labels around it spread out equally. As I look at this, I can see I wasn't perfectly accurate. The other thing I wonder is, dulcimer players just don't care about C sharp. Well, C sharp shows up. No, that's not true. They don't care about E flat. Okay. No, most tunings don't have an E flat in them. Now, you can play baritone dulcimer, which is half an octave lower. Or my little travel one is half an octave higher, and so you might find some notes there that aren't typical. I guess also I should have put something else in here that's we have to say what these are. If it's D-A-D or D-A, normally capital is lower and lowercase is an octave higher, just to make it make good sense. But the tuning of this thing matters, because I can't tell you what chords are what without knowing the tuning. Like, you want a D chord, but if you're in EGB tuning, where am I going to put the B? I'd have to know. All right, which means we're going back. I don't remember how much we did with. I don't remember if we did a project on Twitch like this, but I did something at one point that was. I was originally going to do some online learning stuff around this, and I remember doing the thing to draw the board. The unrealistic thing about this is that frets get skinnier as you go up higher, because of the way it's all exponential, basically. One octave doubles the frequency, so another octave doubles it again, and you get kind of powers of 2 going on there. Yeah. All right. So I don't think we have material to draw on to do this. I think I was doing it in either Java or on the web before. Okay. But I guess one thing to do would be draw a fretboard, and there's sort of a baseline and then the frets and go that. So there are two kinds of 4-string dulcimers. They have one of them is called equidistant strings, which means 4 equally distant strings. So if I put another string in here, it would occupy a separate space. The other kind is like this one, and you would even sometimes you'd write it like this. This string would be doubled, and so it would be very close that you would press it with the same finger, and it doesn't affect the chording or anything, because you don't normally. I mean, you could tune them to 2 different notes, but normally you tune them to the same note. And the theory was, 2 strings on the same note, it's going to be twice as loud, But it's like a mandolin. I don't know if you know, mandolins are strung that way, 2 strings per course. They call the course the thing. And a 12-string guitar is like a 6-string guitar, but every string is doubled, basically. So, 2 strings really close would. It's effectively the same as the 3-string version. If they're playing the same note and your finger's covering the same 2 strings at the same note, it doesn't really matter. And honestly, my dulcimer was made to support 4 strings in that configuration with 2 strings together, and I just don't put the 4th string in and play it that way. for the stuff I do, it works out better. If you do finger picking, especially, even more than the kind I play, it's a pain to have to press two strings at the same time. So people who do finger picking almost always take that string off. But it turns out, if you tune them to the same note, but they can't be perfectly aligned, start their cycle at exactly the same point, which would reinforce it, and instead they're going to be slightly off, and so they start canceling each other a little, and it ends up not making it louder. So unfortunately, instead, they do things with the depth, and they can put a second soundboard on and stuff like that. Okay, so I think our first component to draw, let's just get I guess a 3-string dulcimer together. Now, 4-string, like it might be D-A-D-A. There are people out there who play 4 strings all the same, or 3 strings all the same. Makes it flexible for things and stuff like that. Okay. Right, so we need to draw the dulcimer, and then we got to draw some notes on the dulcimer, and then draw constellations on the dulcimer. Okay, so constellations, let me see if I can find somebody's. Let's look for a mountain dulcimer chord chart, I imagine now. Okay, not quite what I had in mind. Yeah, although most people don't do them vertically. That makes sense for guitar, but it doesn't really make sense for dulcimer because they play them on their lap. But right, so can I rotate? Let me download it. Okay. All right, so this is more the way they really are. So here's fret 1, fret 2, fret 3. Notice 2 and 3 are close because that's like E and F on a piano. 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. I think they have a little different convention than most people. But anyway, well, I don't have a constellation going. Okay, so if I want to play E minor, I can play 1, 1, 3, or 3. I can play 1 starting on the bass, 1 and 3 here, or vice versa. Because the tuning is D-A-D, it's sort of symmetrical. So, but a constellation is if I were to draw lines connecting these, that it would be kind of like drawing the lines connecting stars to make constellations. So we'd like to show those, and I also want to do something rather than showing dots. I'd like to use shapes, and so I have a pattern where the root note of the chord is a circle, the third of a chord is a triangle with 3 sides, the fifth of a chord is a square, which doesn't have 4 sides or 5 sides, but anyway, and then maybe a seventh in a circle, a 7 in a circle to give you 7th chords. But I do want to show those. I'd like to show the constellation aspects. Let's try chord chart constellations. And not everybody uses that terminology. Well, there's some real constellations. I guess we're going to imagine our constellation lines for the most part. I didn't think it was that rare though. How odd. Let me throw in dulcimer on there and see if that helps. Yeah, here's a good one. Okay. I think I know who's... Oh, man. I don't think that is theirs to upload. Okay, but let's... So, yeah. So here you got 002 is a D chord. E minor is 113. And so we're drawing those lines to show you how they connect and do that. And the patterns, so here's 113. Well, I'll do this one. 002, 2, 3, 4. So this one increased x plus 2. This one's x plus 1, x plus 2. And this one's x plus 1, x plus 2. So it's stretched out more. And then you're back to x plus 2. So from the 7th fret on, the patterns just repeat. So that's why I'm not so concerned about showing all the way up the neck. Okay, but I think these little the little lines are helpful. And like I also mentioned, because it's a symmetric tuning, the note on this string, that's an F sharp. It's also an F sharp here, so, and that's an A and a D. So if you flip it around vertically, it's still the same notes in the chord, just mixed up as far as which one's the highest. Okay, and they've drawn 7 in there. That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like this is either Steve Seifert's or Bing Futch's stuff, not whoever put that up on Scribd. All right. So I guess it's just drawing. All right. So anyway, we draw the dulcimers. We need to draw the circle chart with buttons or labels. Overlay chord buttons. What else? Or select overlay key selection. All right, and we also here we need to select tuning and dulcimer type, diatonic, chromatic, etc. Okay, right. This is strings and frets. Oh, and labels. Okay. And then I think somewhere in here I should show the chords themselves. I mean, probably up here, but if you pick a D chord, it's 002, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 7, 7, 7, 9, 9, 10, 11. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll only show the ones that start in the range of 0 less than 7, 0 up to 7, or yeah, 0 up to 6.5. I don't know, but somewhere I want to say what these are, lay out those constellations, and then an invert button, if that makes sense. All right, let's see if I can select these, move down a little, get a little breathing room. Okay. Well, I don't know how to draw, but let's create the tile for it. This is chord chart. Chord chart mountain. Okay. Then the front page. Well, who looks the best? Okay. I guess it doesn't matter what I copy. Who said anything about? I think we did that before. Oh, MD. All right, system name. I don't know what's going to suggest a chord. They're very. There's a paucity here. Let's say. Maybe a triangle. Do I have a way to overlay these things? I wonder. Yeah, let's just go with a triangle for now. And then the color, I think maybe I'll stick to the convention that purely mountain set triangle. Sorry, are you seeing it on here now? There's inset. Oh, inset, this one? Three dots and lines. About, oh, this one? List triangle? Yeah, that would work. It always. I don't know if I can zoom. No. If you're talking about this one, it's list.triangle. That's kind of interesting too. I don't see any set dots. Inset. Yeah. Well, they're identical shapes, right? So it doesn't matter if you can't tell which one's which. All right, let's steal from. Oh, this should be Mountain Dulcimer then. First, I'm going to take the same colors. D. Okay. Now we have to put that somewhere, right? I've been doing these alphabetical. Well, while that's doing its thing, let's start finding out how to draw with Swift. I know I've done some of it, but not enough. Paths versus shapes. Okay. Right, so that lets you give the path and that gives you a shape. Okay. Here it goes. Okay, well, there's chord chart. That's pretty tight on the text. Okay. Yeah, one of these days we'll have to look at the small phone and make sure that fits in there. Did we wrap lines? I guess we wrapped this line. Could probably call it chords if I had to. All right, but we got the little logo going, and that's good news. All right. So let's put a background on that thing. Kill off some of these. Background color, palette, panel. All right, let's see this. Well, yeah, we have that. We've used that brown for the others, I think, right? Okay. Yeah, let's adopt that. We can change it later if it's need to. All right. So chord chart MD. Guess that's overall background. And let's see what we can do with the canvas. I'm hopeful. Okay. We're safe area. That looks like a different brown to me. Tool background. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's just work out how to draw a dulcimer. I don't know if I want to call it view or shape or what. So when you show a shape, yeah, maybe shape would be good. Then you have the rectangle stuff, yeah. Dulcimer shape. I think I'll keep that MD going. MD shape is a shape. And we have to give it a path. Well, we'll just steal his little triangle for a moment here. Probably need foundation. Okay, well, if you don't bound it, I guess that's what you get. All right, so he moves from mid X, min Y to min X max Y to max X max Y to mid X min Y. Okay. Yeah. And actually, I don't feel like I need to squeeze the frets as it goes across. I mean, conceptually they're the same. In reality, your fingers have to scrunch together. But all right, so I guess I'm going to say, let's move to min X, min Y, add a line to max X, max Y, move to mid X, sorry, min X, min Y. Min X, mid Y. Max X mid Y. I'm not getting 3 lines. X is max. X min Y. Sorry. Max Y min X. Max X max Y. Now I've screwed something up. Okay, I got a path. I move to min X, min Y. Move across to max X, min Y. I guess I should reverse it for you. Go to min X, mid Y. Move across to max X, mid Y. Move to min X, max Y, across to max X, max Y. All right, that feels like what I want. Okay, let's put a stroke on that. Okay. Yeah. If you're going to draw multiple boxes, take a rectangle that takes 2 corners, top left, bottom right. Yeah, there's... I don't know if I want to draw boxes or just draw lines. Wait, just to keep this kind of looking. Yeah. Yeah, so there's a question how I want to do this. Oh, is it? Well, I got these lines. I wonder why they... Oh, was he putting stroke width on here? Stroke style, line width, line cap. Yeah, let's see what that does. Oh, I get 2 strokes with that. Interesting. Okay, that's the 10 for... Oh, that's nice. Probably good. Okay, line cap I don't care about really. Line join round. Yeah, that's probably extra. Okay, so I can tell this is going to come in pieces. That's the only way this is going to make sense. Okay, so I guess let's make this be strings. Strings shape. Doesn't seem to be doing anything. With horn. Okay. Okay, so that's the strings. Now, let's put well, I think there are 3 kinds of frets. Actually, kind of like 4. So this is your, it's called your nut. It's the point where the strings kind of attach up where the tuners are and all that stuff. There's usually a fattish, thick piece of plastic or whatever it's made of, and delineates the left side. Then you had fret 1 here, regular fret. Fret 1.5 is dotted. And fret 7, I made this one a little wider than this one because that's where that repeat comes in. I don't know if it would look the same as a nut. Like, I don't know, 5 might be... Well, I don't, it doesn't really scream anything. Oh, it's not. I didn't change it. Yeah. Okay, so I think the frets, even though this is not really called a fret, and this one is not physically different, but mentally different, I'm going to define an enum for those. Fret, and then I'm going to have nut, regular, plus, and octave. Okay. Okay, so let's make another shape. And this is the frets shape. Well, there's actually one that's a blank too. Regular plus, well, octave, blank, or dotted. Okay, dashed. I don't know, I'm mixing up concepts. The fact that it's dashed is the choice I'm making. We'll call it half. Yeah. So I want to use a semantic term. So those are called the half frets that I've drawn with dotted lines here. 1.5, 6.5, both fairly common these days. I know somebody with a 4.5. I know somebody has a 0.5. You know, just plugged in. Somebody who has 8.5, but not a 1.5, even though normally your 2 octaves match. You know, there's you choose. Okay. I saw, I looked this up. This is apparently a simulator bug about the sound system. I wonder why we seem to be getting some of those without starting up the metronome, but okay. All right. So to draw the frets, I think you need to give me an array of what you want. So this one wants a nut, a blank, a regular, a half, regular, blank, because those ones that aren't there, they still count. Yeah, so ignoring the numbers, which we're also going to need, let's at least pass in that. So fret shape, and let's give it a var fret types. Maybe it's frets. And that's going to be an array of fret. Okay. So I think our dulcimer our body of some view, he's going to take a Z stack of the strings, string shape, and then yeah, let's just take all this. Now the frame and the padding, I think, are going to go on the whole thing. All right, and so let's make this a dulcimer view. Maybe we should get the padding on top. I don't know. All right. He's still complaining, but that's okay. And then we're going to draw the frets shape with. Okay, so nut, blank, regular, half, regular, I gotta look, regular, blank, regular blank 3 times. And then regular half octave. An octave starts a new one, so let's put him here. Well, and so we have a blank, I'm going to report them, but you can't tell me 18 times about the same problem. Okay, octave, and then blank, regular, half, regular. So that's 7, 8, 8.5, 9, blank and 10. And I think maybe it looks better with a blank at the end. Okay. So fret shape. Okay. Right. So I think what we'll do is we'll divide the space by the list of these and draw them. Okay, so easy to do. All right. Now this is gonna go. Okay, so a comma before the last blank. Oh, good point. Yeah, okay, got it. But I'm probably supposed to have this too. All right. Yeah, so I think what boy, it's starting to get complicated. But I think all we're doing is we're going to say, well, let fret distance equal. All right, now if I got to take the n minus 1. Yeah, I don't know what the... I'm going to take frets dot count minus 1. Okay, so if I have... Well, how many do I have here? I guess I should have one more. All right, I have 0, 1, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 with the blank on the end. But I got to make each one have, I think I have to divide by n minus 1, right? So, because the last one doesn't have any width beyond it, so I'm only allocating that. So this is, let's make a double out of this. And rect dot, I think I can get the width. Yeah. Width divided by that. Well, good point. Yes, we know that. Okay, so right, and then I'm going to do this for each well, index fret, and that doesn't sound right. Okay, I guess that's a way to do it. I don't know what he's even doing. Switch fret init. Okay. Well, for a given fret, we're going to do a move to. And then a path, add line. Okay, so this is rect.minx plus index times fret distance. And the y is min y, okay. Okay, and then the line is going to go, well, I guess let x equal this. X isn't going to change. X min y, and this is x to max y. All right, and then this stuff hides. Okay. And then this needs stroke. Let's get that much done. Yeah, you're right. Vertical line would be a great step forward. Okay, this is progress. All right, I also see we're well over break, but let's go take a break, 3 or 4 minutes. We'll come back. We'll add some thicknesses to these things. Boy, that's looking pretty tight, though. All right, see you in 3 or 4 minutes. Welcome back. Okay, so, yeah, that may look a. Let's do an actual run. Just see how that looks on the thing. Yeah, should we do a vertical line? Again. Okay, that's sort of just. I mean, this is visual. I don't think we're going to be pressing the spots on here, but it's tight. Okay. But I think this is a start. So let's push this. Start creating chord chart around dulcimer. Yeah, I think. Well, I don't have the whole octave there. I don't think, unless I counted wrong. 20 sounds like a little high, though, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. So the 14 gets me to 7. I went through up to 10 here. So 5, 6. Yeah. So that was the 6th was the blank one. I think I need at least that much, because if you had a chord like 6.5, 7, 8 is a useful chord. Yeah, we haven't dealt with the half steps or any of that stuff yet. But I do think there are chords that start below 7. I don't have to start anybody above 7, but I have to let them reach up above it if they need to. So there's a 6.5, 7, 8, and actually there's a 6.5, 7, 9 that I never play, but beyond that, maybe we don't need number 10. The problem is kind of a visually thing that, like, 0 and 3 and 7 are sort of like, when they put dots on, they'll almost always put a dot at 3 and 7 to kind of show you where those key notes are. So if you're tuned to D, A, D, the 3 in the middle string is also a D, so it's useful to just the way things play out. It's helpful. Yeah. Right. So I think we need the width we have. I think we can do it better though. Let's start with that instead of that frame. Let's give it. Let's not frame the width. We'll do that with padding. See what I can do here. And the stroke had a stroke width. Let's see what that's like. Okay. Yeah, that gives us a little extra. 12's kind of a minimum. All right. I guess I commented out those. That's okay. I don't need them. Okay, so let's try that vertical line approach. Use a shape. Suggests horizontal line may be a useful concept too. Right? Needs a path. Oops. Okay. Well, I'm going to just compute the indexes here anyway. I don't know. Like, I can't call it here, right? Because I guess he gives me a path. I'm gonna hold off on that. We'll treat that as a possible refactoring later. Okay. Now, yeah, we didn't use the fret, so let's do that. Now, the stroking. I don't think I stroke the path. I don't have an intuition for how this should go together, but maybe you kind of alternate views and shapes to kind of get things together. I mean, somebody's going to walk through the list of frets and he's going to have to say what the stroke is on that. So I think when you specify the shape, you're not giving it the stroke. Maybe you can. Yeah. All right, maybe we do want the vertical line. Maybe mid would work better. Okay. So if I give you a path, I don't know what if you stroke these now. Okay, so let's make this a view. Excuse me. All right, give that the frets. Can I ask my distance? Well, maybe he's still a shape. I think I can do a subpath. You'd think the path. I didn't say swift you. Okay. Close subpath. Should the variable frets be a tuples with the step size and the fret style? Yeah, I was thinking of putting them on the fret values, but maybe small little classes with that information would be the best way to go. Maybe indexed by the fret type. I'm not sure this closed subpath. I mean, it seems like we can just do our own path like that. That's pretty simple. All right, let me see this. There's all the stuff you add. Move begins a new subpath. Can I put two in the same deal? I'm not sure. So he goes down across. It seems like he's got 3 lines drawing. Yeah, so I guess that's this bit. It lines up the corners. It sort of tells it like this really is a proper corner there. I mean, so in the sense of like the last tiny bit of the corner it does, but it doesn't, like, you don't draw the first 2 lines and then trust it to get home. Oh, okay. So I guess all it's doing is making sure those endpoints get properly connected. But I don't quite get the. Can I make something that's? Well, I guess I can. I just did. Okay, I was going to say I have paths that start and stop. Now, I don't think it's going to matter on the ones we're doing. All right, so yeah, can I say path.add and then just add a whole nother path? Oh, okay. Add path. Yeah, okay. So I can do that in this thing, I think. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to calculate that x still, and then path.add path. Do I say vertical line that doesn't tell it enough. Well, I think I can make a rectangle. X, Y, width, height. So X is my X. Y is my rectangle dot height min y. I don't even know. Vertical line is a shape I'm calling dot path with a, oh, I gotta say in. CG rect X, Y, instance member path cannot be used on type vertical line. But it's vertical line dot path gives me a path. Okay, vertical line dot path in CG rect that. Instance member path cannot be used on vertical line. Instance member path. Why not? Well, I was kind of thinking a line would just be draw the line in this box kind of thing, and effectively a zero width line that get a path that gets stroked with whatever gets stroked with would do it. But this sounds like I can't. I mean, I can't call vertical line because that gives me a shape, right? And a shape is not a path. A shape is something you can call in the view. So, I don't know why. Let me try and build it piece by piece. Oh, I need to call it. That's why. Vertical line, call his path function, which just draws the line vertically, however big it gets to. X is where I'm going to draw it. Y is the starting point here with zero height. Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to add path. Of line. Okay, I think that's all right. Oh, he's still running. Yeah, I think he's okay. Okay, and it did. All right. Now, let's get these things. Okay, path dot add path line. Let's just make sure we can do that here. Cannot convert shape view to expected type path. Okay. But something's going on. I mean, I'd like to be able to stroke these lines. That's why I was hoping to do this. But what's this path? And that's the constructor. Yeah, they're okay. Yeah. So I'm almost thinking if I want these to be the vertical lines to be stroked, I've got to. That has to happen at the view level, and since I want to stroke them differently, or not even draw them in some cases. I mean, if fret is blank, continue. But the other ones need some drawing love. Yeah, I don't think you can do stroke color here. Yeah, not in this context. And now, oh yeah, that turns into a shape. Yeah, so I think there's three things to keep separate. One is this view, which a shape is a kind of view, and then the shape, and then the path, and they're, you can't fully go between them. I think if it were a shape and not a path, we could call stroke path on it. But like I have to stroke these to get the nut one size and the dotted lines and all that in the other, So that makes me think this does need to be But I lose access to the path, so I can't. I guess I can put them as shapes. All right, let's see what we can do. All right, so if I make him a view, we'll have to work on the names. He's going to have far body of some view. Okay, instead of this, and we don't have the rectangle, we don't have the width anymore, so that makes it really tough. Maybe let's search a little more on paths. I mean, I can add the lines. If I do this, that's what I can do. I can do this at the view level because path creates. Well, no. Okay, paths versus shapes. Sounds good. Okay, start there, doing coordinates. Shapes are built with paths. Yeah. Okay. I think this is getting a little out of the range. Okay. I don't know how to even ask this. Yeah, I mean, the stroke's happening up at the view level. See, I don't get to ask myself, what size am I? That's why the shape knows the rectangle, so it knows what bounding box it has. But a view does not know its size. I don't know. Maybe I should. Let's try. See what this says. Well, that's probably helpful. Oh, excuse me. That's an idea. But I want different widths on the different paths. That's why I'm going a little crazy. But let's see what happens. Well, it seems to let me do that, but and these are already added to the path, so they're getting stroked by that outside one we did. And I don't know if I have to do Geometry Reader to do this. Yeah. Now they did add some sort of relative size thing with the last version, I think. Oh, only in iOS 18. Well, he can. I mean, I'm using him as a path, right? Because I'm calling the path method. So, I mean, there's no harm in that. Maybe let's try. Container relative frames. That sounds promising. Set the frame of the view, but that doesn't give us the frame. All right, I'm gonna put this back till it's compiling again. So it's called make it a path and add path vertical. The problem is you can't pass a shape into a path, as far as I can tell. You can pass a path into a path as a, as sort of a subpath kind of thing, but there's not a way to make that. When you do vertical line stroke, you're back to the view domain. All right, so I mean, I don't know. Geometry Reader is an option, but I could have sworn. I mean, maybe this container relative frame thing, but I still don't know. Yeah, you just sort of tell it to shove things in that space without. Oh, axis horizontal. So you can control some of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Geometry Reader's the way to go. Now, we had problems doing it at different levels or something. Visual effect gives us. What's he doing with it? Blurring everything but the middle. I mean, it gets a geometry proxy in. Okay, well, yeah, something for next week. We'll learn more about drawing. So we got our metronome done. That's great. And we'll see you Monday through Thursday, 2 to 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time or 7 to 9:30 p.m. UTC. Thanks for everything and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.